Well, if there's any doubt that these creatures are somewhat human and somewhat like us, and in well, what I'm getting at is, I think this creature freaked out these kids on purpose. He got just close enough where he knew he was seen, and then he disappeared. It's like, what the heck, you know? I mean, I could see doing the same thing just to mess with somebody in the woods. And I think that's what happened here. I mean, clearly this was not human, but at the same time, you know, you gotta wonder. Let's dive into this.
I was with two other. I am 27 years old now. This happened when I was about 11, I believe the year 2000. I realize I was young, however, I have thought about this experience many times over the years and have not been able to explain what was seen that day. I was with two other people, one female who was my age at the time and her brother who was about 13-14 years old. The two of us girls were walking and he was on a bike. We were on the outskirts of Columbia, Missouri. I am not sure of the exact location, but I did force my dad to walk that path with me again in the days after, so I'm sure he would remember. The bike path was wooded on both sides. The weather that day was overcast, but since it was the middle of the afternoon the visibility was fine. We were about 30 yards from where the path opened up to a lake. We were just walking and chatting and, unannounced, this creature walked out of the left side of the woods. No excessive noise. Just a little bit of rustling like a deer was moving around it, then crossed the path and moved up into the right side of the woods. No drama, no growling or screaming. It did nothing to spook us. It just quietly and matter-of-factly walked from one side of the woods to the other. It did not look at us or do anything threatening. It was only about 6-6.5 feet tall, fairly thin, lanky almost. The best way to describe it I find is to compare it to an Irish wolfhound dog on two legs, without the dog-shaped facial structure. It had longer, stringy hair. The most striking part to me, and what I remember most clearly, is that its hair was gray, not brown. It was a dirty gray type color. I did not see any facial features distinctly. Its gait was long-strided, the arms were longer, and I remember they swung by its sides in an ape-like manner. The entire encounter was fairly short and unassuming. We saw this creature walk calmly across the path. No one said a word, but we all wheeled around and ran the entire way back to the house. I just remember being genuinely scared. I know I was young, but I know I saw something that I struggle to comprehend or explain even today. I don't know if Bigfoot is a real animal, but I know what I saw was not just someone trying to scare us.
Follow-up investigation said, I spoke to the witness over the phone. She had since moved across the country, but this day is forever burnt into her memory. She had the following to add. The sighting lasted about 5 to 10 seconds. Dirty gray color, she also described as gray-white. The being's movement was too fluid for somebody in a suit to pull off. The arm swing reminded her of a cross-country skier. Its arms seemed too long for its body compared to humans. Interesting stuff. This is BFRO Report 58092, in case anyone wants to look it up. Interesting stuff. This thing was messing with him. It was messing with him. It was like, hey, here's some teenagers over there. I'm going to scar them for life. I'm telling you, these creatures. Anyway, let me know what you think.